Hello everyone and welcome to our hashtag Female Boss mini YouTube series. So today we have the lovely Claire Halligan, who is the owner of Pop-Up Jewellery and Bridge to Business Alumni. Claire is an amazing female boss and young entrepreneur who's been running Pop-Up Jewellery since 2016 and has been incredibly successful. So hello Claire.
Hi. Well, yeah, it's just, wait, you said 2016, has it really been that long?
I know,
It's
like, see with COVID, it just makes the years pass.
Yeah, so insane.
So welcome Claire. So why don't you start by telling us just a little bit about yourself and Pop-Up Jewellery and even just how you set up the business.
Well, hi, as you know, I'm Claire and I run Pop-Up Jewellery Limited. So at Pop-Up Jewellery, I make individually handmade sterling silver jewellery inspired by geometric shapes. Really love geometric. I think it's one of those styles that never goes out of fashion and it's constantly giving me new ideas. And yeah, as mentioned, I started my business in 2016, around about that time while I was in college. I actually started it roughly around my last year in my graded unit, because in my head that was the perfect time to start a business. We'll do our exams, but we'll do a business at the same time, because that made so much sense. But I was really lucky to get amazing support from my lecturers, Lisa and Colin at City of Glasgow. I cannot sing their praises enough as lecturers, and I also got a lot of help from Bridge to Business, particularly a lady called Christina who worked there. Not sure she works there anymore, but the Bridge to Business team helped me out a lot with like mentoring and mostly just having someone to like speak to be like, you know, your idea is not silly, it is possible. Just having that person as like your yes man, I guess, and to back you up. So that's kind of where I started. Then I slowly started making pieces and going to shows and stalls and things, and just really built the brand that way.
Yeah, no, that's great. And we love that you've been through Bridge to Business and have an experience with us before. So what inspired you initially to start up your business? You say you done it whilst you were at college.
Yeah, so at the time I was in, like most business owners, we're in a job that we don't really like, we're not 100% on. And I was like that. I was working a job that I loved my job, but it wasn't something I wanted to do. And I was doing my course jewellery design, and I was sitting thinking like, what am I going to do once I finish college? Am I just going to let it collect dust, this degree? Like, what am I going to do with it? And then I thought of all the different avenues I could go down with my degree. I could work for other jewellers. I could, work in repairs, get an apprenticeship in a jeweller's. But I really like the idea of running my own business. I like the idea of taking control of everything, seeing what one wee person could bring into the world. So that's what I done. I just started a business and started really, really slowly. I started with like only a few products and kind of just took things as they came. So that's kind of how it started.
Yeah, no, that's great. And like everything, I think you just have to have that one wee idea, don't you? And then just run with it.
Yeah, and it's just like this, like, I call it like unblinded faith of it's just going to work out. We're just going to get from point A to point Z somehow, and we're just going to make it happen.
There's always a way.
Well,
so when you're doing that, what struggles would you say that you faced with your business and how did you overcome them?
I think my biggest struggles were my confidence, because I was really confident in my work and my customer service, because I've been working in customer service and retail since I was 15. So I had the experience and I had to like talk to customers, how to come across. It was, I knew I had the skills to make the jewellery. It was the confidence that got me. I was constantly comparing myself to other jewellers who had like 15 years, experience on me. And I was like, I need to be exactly like them. I need to be good as them right now. Even though I only started this business 2 weeks ago, I need to be as good as them. And that was the thing I really struggled with, my confidence. And over the years, I kind of, not in a bad way, I kind of stopped caring what those other deals I was doing. Still admired them, still do admire them, but I focused on who's Pop-Up, who's Claire, what do I want to be in this industry, and who do I want to be in this industry? And, kind of finding out who I was boosted my confidence. But that was the biggest thing, was the confidence that I struggled with.
I think that's the main thing to try and find when you start a business, isn't it? It's like, who are you compared to others?
Yeah.
And finding your way through it. Like you said, there's people that you compare yourself to that might have had 10, 20 years experience. Yeah.
I call it like earning your stripes. Like those jewelers that I admire who've got like years and years experience, or maybe they started out as I did, they didn't know how to write an invoice, they didn't know how to like file a tax return or do a stone setting. So I had to kind of remember that they were exactly like me, and it's okay. Like it's not the end of the world, we can't do an invoice, we'll figure it out.
That's it. And I know you've spoken to us previously, Claire, about imposter syndrome and how you worked through that whilst building your business. So what would you say to our students who might be experiencing imposter syndrome with either their studies or starting up a business? And what was the turning point for you in seeing that difference?
So dealing with imposter syndrome is still something that I struggle with, not as much as I used to, but still do. And I can only talk from a jewellery perspective, like a product perspective, not a service perspective in a sense, because I work with a physical product. What I would do, how I dealt with it is I figured out what I like doing. So when I first started, I used to work with circles a lot because it was the only thing I could really make. And I thought, we'll make so many circles, that's what we'll do. And I did like the jewellery I was making, but it wasn't me. I'm not a circle person. I'm like sharp edges, really kind of geometric. And I stopped making those things because I felt like I had to be like the other jewellers that make things like this. And I started making more my style of things. And I enjoyed it a lot more because it was like, this is who I am. This is what I'm doing. And it's different because I'm doing my own designs. So if you're dealing with imposter syndrome, what I would suggest is, especially if you're a jeweler, find a technique that you would call yours and really hone that technique. So for example, I would say my two techniques are really shiny polishing and sawing out tricky shapes. Those are my two bread and butters that I know really well. If I go in with a custom order, I'm going to, say we can just saw out this because this is what I'm confident in doing. This is my style. And you'll start to become confident in yourself because you've honed those two techniques. That's who you are as a jeweler. That's what you're known for as a jeweler. And you'll start to take pride in yourself. I wouldn't say you start to feel like a ticket, but you'll get this like wee earned chip on your shoulder where you're like, no, I've worked really hard. I deserve to like be proud of my own work. And that's how you kind of deal with imposter syndrome. The more you love and care you put in yourself in your own work and not others is how you deal with imposter syndrome.
No, that's great. And like you say, if you find those little pieces that can become your bread and butter, your go-to, it does make it so much easier. So you said before you started your business whilst in college. So what hints and tips would you sort of give to our students that are looking to start their business, maybe whilst they're at college?
Don't do it during a graded unit. Not the best idea. No, do that if you like. I think I would really speak to your lecturers. I was petrified to tell my lecturer Colin because during the time that at that point in my college course, my lecturer was trying to figure out, what were we doing after college? He was trying to prepare us and help us. And a lot of people were going on to uni and I didn't want to go. I knew I wanted to start a business and I was terrified to tell them because I thought I was going to let them down. And I really admired my lecturers, Lisa and Colin. I didn't want to let them down. So I hid from them for like a good week because I couldn't tell them. I just blanked them basically. And they got me. And he said, what is it you want to do? And I was like, I want to start a business. I was like, I don't want to go to uni. I just want to start a business. And he was like, that's fine. That's great. So I would say talk to your lecturers or the people that are teaching you, the people that see you more than probably your own family see you at this point. So speak to the people who are right in front of you. Ask them like, I don't know what I want to do. What do you think I should do? I just want a bit of help. So I would speak to your lecturers. I would definitely, if you're thinking of starting a business, if you're a jeweler, what I would suggest is pick, I would say 5 to 6 products that you know how to make really well. Because if you go in and you start with 25 products, that's 25 products you need to make, 25 products you need to take pictures of, upload to a website or Etsy. if you take that 25 down to 6, it's a lot less stressful, you know. Also, with those 26 pieces, you can keep remaking them, you can get better at making them, you can start to put your prices up because you're like, I've made this ring about 105 times, I know exactly the mechanics of it, let's put the price up. You'll build your confidence in that way too. So that's how I would start. And then once you've kind of got your product ready, you know, you've got a physical thing to sell or a service, start going to markets. I think people get a bit nervous of markets because you have to actually talk to people, and I think people get a bit nervous and they become like a salesperson when you don't. I've always said when it comes to selling, especially face to face, you should just take money out of the equation. Instead of talking to somebody as if they're like a meal ticket, talk to them as if what they are, which is a human being. Enjoy their company, enjoy the chat that they give to you, because I think people forget that customers are also people. They're having bad days sometimes, you know. Sometimes they just need somebody to say to them, "Hi, sunshine," just to be a human being and be nice to them. So I would definitely go to markets. You know, it helps you find your target market quicker, helps you get looser how to talk to people more. You start to feel like a business at that point because you're like, right, okay, I'm out, I've sold products. You know, it's starting to take form at this point. So yeah, that's the only tips I would give people if they want to start during college.
Yeah, no, that's great. So if we think you've been in business since 2016, what would you say some of your highs and lows have been through the years?
Good. I think my highs, I think what I'm trying to think, so you're trying to talk 2016, I'm still kind of getting over I had one business in 2016. I think my highs are winning the John Mathers competition. That was a competition in my college, City of Glasgow, where you got a chance to win a share of £20,000 for your business. And it was the first time Pop-Up, before Pop-Up even had a name, it was just the Jewellery at this point. Like the first time the Jewellery went into a competition kind of environment. And I always remember feeling a bit like Katniss Everdeen and being like, how am I going to win? And there's all these people, and these people are dead good, and I don't think I'm that good. And it was like the first time I was ever like thrown out of that situation. And I won £1,500 of it, which was like a proper, oh my God, like that was a turning point. I was like, right, okay, I've got something that's worth something. So that was like one of the biggest highs. I think the biggest high is just having a business that's self-sufficient. You know, like I never thought I would get to the point where I could just take a day off and the business would be fine. Or I could like buy a £20 jumper and the whole business isn't going to crumble because I've bought a £20 jumper instead of buying £20 worth of silver. That's probably the biggest thing for me, that I have a business that's self-sufficient, that I've got a bunch of wee clients that are dead nice. You know, people trust me, and I like being the jeweler kind of thing. Like I like getting called the jeweler. I'm people's personal jeweler, and that's nice, man. Like that is a big compliment. So that's probably like my highs. My lows were probably the getting inside your own head, the imposter syndrome. That is probably the only thing in my business I struggle with. I can deal with like quiet months. I can deal with like products not being really popular, not selling. I can deal with all that because all that's fixable. Imposter syndrome is a bit harder to fix, you know, because it's a lot of self-talk and bringing yourself up. So, you know, it's really hard when I first started, and like I said, I compared myself to a lot of other jewelers, or like when you're quiet and you start to think, what's wrong with me? What am I doing wrong? And it's bringing yourself out of that place of like a really kind of sad place, and reminding yourself like, okay, if you're so bad, how can you afford your gas and like this week? If you're so bad, you know, how do you have a workshop and a contact book of clients kind of thing? It's reminding yourself constantly all the time of that. So that's probably my lows. So it is.
Yeah. No, that's so interesting. And like that start with the competition, that's amazing. Like you don't think of it like that. Like there's so many different things that you can do to help start your business.
Yeah, I think as well, like Young Enterprise and Rich Business, like I've been a part of them since 2016, since I started my business, and it's a great platform and a group of people to work with, because I've always said that they remember you. So you might not hear from them for a couple of months, but they do remember you. They get in touch, And that makes you feel good that somebody remembers you after that long. So that's why whenever you ask me to do something, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll do it. I'm so up for it because I love you. These are so nice and helpful.
And we love hearing your story.
Thank you. But I would definitely take advantage of every opportunity that Bridge to Business and Your Enterprise throw at you, because you do not know where it will lead you.
No, that's great. I have one more question for you, Claire. So looking after your mental health and well-being is so important, especially with the years that we've currently had to experience. So what would you do after a busy day with your business? What would you do to relax and unwind?
Probably just walk my dog or spend time with my dog. Like you, at the start of our phone call, my dog was crying to get in because we're never away from each other. But I think having an animal, like a pet, something to care for, is really good for your mental health, because they're these wee people, these wee things that they need your care. Like my dog knows when I finish my work, because I usually have like music or an audiobook playing. So when she hears the room quiet, she knows that's me finishing my work. So she'll come and get me and she'll cry till we go a walk. And usually when I take her a walk, I don't really bring my phone, so I can't go onto Instagram, I can't check emails. All I can do for that like half an hour walk is be with my dog and just walk my dog. And it's really nice, like, just to care for something that just wants a cuddle off you, kind of thing. So that's probably like my biggest thing that helps my mental health and my work, is probably just taking the time out to be with my dog and reading. I'm a big reader. So yeah.
Great. Oh no, that's great. And I love the fact we could hear your dog at the start of our call, proper pining to get in the room.
It was so bad. I felt like bad because she opened the door at one point and I was like, I feel horrible, I need to close this door on her. She's with her second choice now, our dad, so
Well, I just want to say a massive thank you, Claire, for joining me today. It's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you, and thank you so much for sharing your journey with us. It's so inspiring and so empowering, and I know our students will be able to take a lot from it. So thank you very much.
No, thank you for having me. I hope I helped some folk out today.
I'm sure you have.